No, I didn't get my late in life gay awakening, unfortunately. So I just like have to talk about fantasy football, and the walk of shame isn't home in the morning. It's me going to whatever date I'm going on with whatever clown I'm going to hang out with, because I'm just like, no, I don't know every woman. I don't know every woman, but I support women's rights and women's wrongs. So whatever they say, I'm sure they did it the right way. Which one of these men in this bar looks the weakest? That I can get the biggest reaction out of saying as little as possible. A crush is just a lack of information. So
you get to know. Wow.
If you want to ruin your crush, you make a move. Pucker up, Whoville. I hope that's not copyright.
Alex Raykowitz.
Yes.
We good?
I think so.
Better known as ARAY.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on the pod. Appreciate it. You reached out.
I did. Don't tell the people that. That's so embarrassing.
No, you reached out and gave us, this is what I'll say, not reached out to like be on the pod. But
I don't need everyone to know that I am the entire fan base.
No.
When you talk about your 30 listeners and it's just me in my room.
No, you reached out and you'll give us a play-by-play every week, which we appreciate because we need it.
No one asked for.
Yeah.
Our 30 listeners is her watching it 30 times.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we missed a key component. So I'm
who I am, what I do, how long have I been in
Denver?
Well,
we just started. I was getting the bag. Like and subscribe.
Hello, guys. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I'm going to have to edit this into the front, but yes, we wish you a very Merry Christmas. This is our Christmas episode.
It
Thank
is.
you so much, Alex.
Because this comes out on Christmas, right?
Well,
we'll probably do the day after.
Yeah,
Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. You probably have like stuff to do.
Since you're a regular watcher, why, is there something that you could give us to make the podcast better? I mean, like, what should we be doing to make this podcast better?
Ooh.
Or level up? You know, we're trying our best.
I think so. What I've noticed, and I feel this. Well, no, this is not even going to be bad. Okay. I feel like you guys are a little scared of me.
Scared of you?
Because I start talking and you're immediately like, let me brace myself for the terrible things she's going to say.
Let them out.
I feel like it seems like a consensus that everybody wants to start meeting people in the wild. Everyone hates dating apps. Dating apps are the worst. So, like, I want to know where the hoes are at. Where are the single guys in my age group hanging out? Where are the girls going? Because if all the girls are going to one place, maybe I don't want to go there. Maybe I want to go. You know what I mean? Like,
no, keep going.
Where's everybody at? If I'm going to meet you in the wild, in real life, how should I approach you and where are you going to be? Not like in a weird stalk. Like, you don't have to share your location with me. But like, oh, me and my friend group and our other friend group always go to this area on the weekend. Or
do you like getting like picked up at a bar?
Okay, so it has worked and it has backfired. I feel like bars are, it's weird because I don't drink a lot. Like, I'm not like a super party person. I like going out. I like hanging out with my friends. I like going to a bar just because I like
social.
Which is funny because I'm like a little bit introverted, but I do like the buzz of people being around if I'm out. Yeah. Like, if I'm gonna get ready and go somewhere, I'm like, oh, I'm out here, you know? Bars are easy because, like, oh, you can talk to the person next to you while you're ordering, or like you're giggly with your friends and you're like having like a silly debate, and you can go up to like a table of cute guys and be like, can you settle this debate for us? Like, we think this, what do you guys think? And it's like a way to start conversation, and you run into people you know, and they're out with friends that you've never met, and you can meet friends of friends that way. So I feel like it's the most organic way, but at some point we're all gonna kind of age out of that, I feel like.
Will you use a pickup line for a guy? Like, will you go over there and approach a guy?
Oh, here's the thing. I can wingman like nobody's business. I set up one friend. They went on a date. I don't know the success of that date. I set up another friend. They've gone home together. I've like introduced people. Is that
successful to you if they go home together? Or
based on my personal experience, no. That can mean a range of things. But I can walk up to a guy that I'm not trying to pursue myself and be like, hey, you're handsome. What's your name? Are you single? You should go talk to that person. And I don't even break a sweat. But when it comes to me, for some reason, like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm going to tell him he's cute, and him and all his friends are going to point and laugh and start throwing rotten tomatoes at me immediately. Like, for whatever reason, there's like a fear that like, for whatever, like they're going to be mean. And I don't know. I think that has to do with like a little bit has to do with growing up in the South, looking the way that I do. But I get kind of shy when I have to approach someone, or I'll do a hit and run.
Okay.
Some guy will be standing. Guys are always with 6 other guys, which is the scariest thing ever, because you have to like.
This is how women feel too. This is how guys feel. I feel like guys are like, oh, they're with 6 other people over there, 6 women, and then you got to go up and say something, and then you'll get laughed at, or you'll get declined, which is, I feel like I've been declined, so I'm used to that.
I feel like women are always like pretty sweet. No, I don't know every woman. But I support women's rights and women's wrongs. So whatever they say, I'm sure they did it the right way. But like I was at Three Dogs a couple months ago watching the Tennessee game, and I love Three Dogs because the male to female ratio there is chef's kiss. And there was a really handsome guy, and he was wearing a Tennessee sweatshirt. I'm a Tennessee fan. And I was like, I should talk to him. But then he sat down at a table, and he was like at the table, and then like a perimeter of men were around him. So there was like a wall of friends surrounding him. So I'm like, I better have something really fucking good to say if I'm going to fight through these people.
I feel like you could have just said hi and it would have worked. I feel like guys are so easy. Do you not feel that way? Like you could come up and just be like, hey, and then.
No, I don't.
You go from there. No?
Because either a guy is going to be completely clueless, or you're going to show them basic human courtesy, and they're going to be like, this girl is in love with me. Like, if you go out with a guy and you're just, like, considerate and remember something he told you, like, oh, hey, I watched this video. I remember you said that you liked XYZ, SNL.
Yeah.
And then you send it to them, they're like, oh, my God, she's obsessed with me. I have to break up with her. Or it's just like, I have more chemistry with my barista than I do with you, brother. Like... You're really flattering yourself, and you never know how that's going to go. So I feel like, I guess on both sides, everyone's just kind of overthinking a little bit.
Can we not normalize like women shooting their shot? You know,
how about we talk about now?
Okay, talk about
Every man in Denver is such a baby girl who wants princess treatment, and they want to be approached, and they want you to start conversations on dating apps, and you have to ask for their numbers.
I'd take back my question.
And I would say if it was a 50-50 situation, that would be cool.
You don't think more guys are going out?
But in this town?
In this town?
I have to be big dog. And I'm already big
you
dog
got that
all
dog
the time. Yeah.
Okay.
I think how it should be, girls should just have to like throw a couple of hints, you know, whether that be like some eye contact, some smiles, and then from there it's in the guy's hands.
So I try to do that, and
I like to aggressively stare at them from across the bar for about at least 30.
Start waving a little.
So
that is my go-to.
Please
If I'm
go
hammered,
talk to me.
I'm over here going like this. Hello,
I have seen them do that many times.
The drive-by is, I've like, say I'm at a bar and I've been seeing a guy, he's really handsome. And I keep looking at him and I don't know what I want to do. So when I know I'm either on my way to the bathroom or on my way from getting my drink to going back to my friends, I have a destination. That's important. You just kind of on your way, you stop them and go, hey, and like you have their attention, you go, you're really handsome. Whoa. And then you just walk away. Perfect. Because then they're either flattered and they're like, oh, thank you. And they go back to what they're doing, or they're like, she thinks I'm handsome. I should go talk to her. And like, you know, like you kind of like crack the door open a little bit. However, I probably don't need to walk away as quickly as I do. I might need to.
You sprint?
A little bit. I get the adrenaline gets me a little bit. I'm like, hey, you're really handsome. But I'm like, I need to leave town. I need to change my name. Where's my passport? I need to let my mom know I'm going into witness protection.
Who's the last guy that hit on you at the bar?
So I'm not the best at picking up on these things because there is a situation I can think of where I told a person to go talk to someone else, as I do. I don't know why I do that. And later on, they came up to me and he was like, hey, like, I think that's so cool that you did that. Like, girls never approach guys in Denver, which I call bullshit on that. And I just like, you know, like that confidence, like blah, blah, blah. And we were talking for a while and we were just chit chatting and he left. And my other friend walked up to me and went, I think he loved you. But he didn't ask me for my number or anything, so I thought he was just being nice. So he just
scared.
kind of like left.
Yeah.
That was a good day for old Alex, though. I did get a lot of compliments that
There
day.
you go. What were you wearing?
Sorry.
No, it must have been like, you must have been looking,
What?
like if I got a good outfit on, I know I'm looking good. Like, and I get some compliments, that always, I'm sorry.
You got 5 outfits, buddy.
I do have 5 outfits.
What were you wearing? So normally I do like to go. Normally I like to go low cut in the front because I am genetically blessed, and tight on bottom because I'm also genetically blessed.
Okay, whoa.
What do you mean? What do I mean? Do you have eyes?
Joe has noticed. He's been talking to me about it.
What the fuck? Come on.
But on that particular occasion, I was at a sports bar, so I was wearing my college T-shirt and like jeans. I think I had been somewhere else. So I looked like a rectangle on that particular occasion, and it's still. Yeah, my hair was. Ooh. So I do get different reactions based on whether my hair is curly or whether it's straight.
Okay.
Because my hair is naturally curly. I don't remember. But it doesn't matter what I look like because it's my vibe that people are attracted to.
Vibe every time.
That's what it is.
Anyway, what's your age over here? Let's get back. We kind of skipped over the old intro, but that's perfect.
I am recently, not that makes it better, I am 30 years old.
Okay.
So dirty 30. So it's just like 29, but people expect more out of you for some reason.
Okay. How long have you been in Denver?
I've been in Denver. I moved here October, like the weekend of Halloween, 2022. So I've been here just over 2 years.
And you're originally from where?
Tennessee, baby.
Tennessee, okay.
East Tennessee, Appalachia. Because I'm like, oh, I'm from Tennessee. A lot of people are like Nashville. And I'm like, no.
And you don't like Morgan. We've talked
different
about
time
this.
zone.
You don't like Morgan Wallen.
Did I tell you that? Is that one of the rants I've gone on?
Yeah.
So disclaimer for everyone, love Joe and Isaac. Met them a year and a half ago. I think this is the first time that we've like interacted sober.
We're not sober.
Not now, but we were when I got here. And I will occasionally get a little spicy when I'm drunk and just pop off on certain things. And apparently Morgan Wallen was one of those things. And no, I will go on the record and say I do not like Morgan Wallen, even though he's very like Tennessee Orange, played in Neyland Stadium, whatever. Get fucked.
Because you're confrontational with.
It depends on.
You like to stir it up. You get the big spoon out.
It
I've
depends
seen it happen
on.
before. You try to get me going. You try to get Isaac going.
Yeah, you were pressing me on why I need therapy. And I was like, I don't know. Do I?
Okay, you guys are saying this stuff, and I'm having like war flashbacks.
It was a very fun conversation.
Two things I have said to both of you.
Yeah. How do you get men riled up out in the wild? Like, what's your go-to?
So I only do it when I've been drinking and I'm out and I look good and I'm like having fun. And then there's a point where I'm like, I feel like with every girl, it's like, I'm out. Not with every girl, but every girl can attest to there are stages to their drunkenness. For me specifically, it's like, okay, I'm going to get a couple drinks, like we're chit-chatting, and then you get just kind of fun and flirty, and like maybe you're singing with like whatever's playing in the bar, and you're just having a good time with your friends. And then when I know it's time for me to maybe go home is when I go into gremlin mode, which is when I'm like, which one of these men in this bar looks the weakest? That I can get the biggest reaction out of saying as little as possible. Because that's the goal I set for myself is like...
a super gremlin.
Yeah, I'm like, what on its face, innocent seeming thing can I say to get a reaction out of this person to then gaslight them into being like, I didn't say that. Like, why are you overreacting?
It's respectable because you did it to me, and I didn't fall for your tricks because you can't bullshit a bullshitter.
I'm here, so you guys obviously like aren't like that fucking person. Honestly, maybe this is a setup.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Oh, we're gonna get you good.
But as I told you before, this is if you meet, and I'm not trying to profile people, but if you just like meet a buttoned up, clean cut looking white guy.
White dude.
All you gotta say is, isn't it crazy how Ronald Reagan ruined America? And watch him.
You hit me with that.
Watch him dissolve. You don't even have to say anything else because then they start talking about trickle down economics or whatever, and you like look at them like they're talking to you about astrology, and then they just spin themselves up. I'm not proud of that. Usually,
it's fun to watch on other people. Can you get me with?
I've been on the receiving side. She's just very fun to talk to about anything, whether she's coming for you or not. She's a joy to be around.
Well, I'm also not going to go out of my way to like pick on someone I don't like to some capacity. So it's almost like it's a sign of respect.
Yeah.
That I'm bullying you a little bit.
You like to bully men.
Yeah, a little bit.
Do they deserve it here in Denver?
So I have some male friends that may or may not watch this actually, that would claim that I bully them, but all I do to them is say true things and hold them accountable for their behavior. I would say I playfully bully you guys. So what you guys got is like the actual like bullying. There are other people who will be like, oh, hey, this thing that you did just shows me X, Y, and Z of your behavior. And then they get mad, but they're just mad because I'm right. But they'll be like, we just like trigger each other. Like, like we just like butt heads. It's like, no, I'm chilling. You just don't like being held accountable for your behavior. I don't know what to tell you about that. But guys are cool, usually, most of the time. I'm straight, so I gotta coexist, I know.
Straight?
Me?
Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I'm straight, so like I am attracted to men and have to date them.
You ever swing the other way?
No, I wish.
Women are so much nicer, I feel like
That's
kind of gross.
You mean we're not homophobic? No, I didn't get my late in life gay awakening, unfortunately. So I just like have to talk about fantasy football and stuff like that, and be like, oh wow, it's my cross to bear in life, I guess.
So you're actively dating right now?
Describe actively.
You're going out
or define. I have not.
Your head is on a swivel. If there's some handsome man in the corner, might interest you.
I will say, I'm always like, did you guys ever watch the Predator movies growing up?
You're the Predator?
You know how they have like the heat-seeking vision?
Yeah.
I will say it's a lot like that. Where I'll be like in the elevator, at the gym, at the coffee shop.
What do you do about it?
And I'll just be like,
that's guys. That's guy brain on like daily, but like a lot of people don't do shit about it. Like, if you see a guy,
Well, I wouldn't say it's guy brain because I'm not like, ooh, wonder what he looks like naked. I'm just like, oh, I bet I bet he has a dog. I bet he has a good relationship with his mom. So I like.
Oh no!
Convince
You're
myself.
setting yourself up for failure though with that.
I'm never going to talk to them. So here's the thing. I like to have like a crush. I like to have a couple crushes at a time, but my crushes are a group of people who I will never interact with or speak to or
what if you did one time?
Let them know my intentions. A crush is just a lack of information. So
you get to know them. Wow.
If you want to ruin your crush, you make a move.
How many gym crushes do you have?
100. So I have Monday, Wednesday, Friday gym crushes, and I have Tuesday, Thursday gym crushes. And if anybody has ever seen me at Low High Athletic Club, no, you fucking didn't, because I'm always fighting for my life when I'm at the gym. I'm always looking the worst, looking like I'm just gonna like pack it in and start a whole new life somewhere else.
You have any elevator crushes?
A couple.
Okay.
I have 2. Yeah, I do have a couple elevator crushes where I'll just like make small talk. So the only downside of an elevator crush is like one I saw on the way here. Look pretty good. Usually they see me on the morning dog walk. It's not a good look. It's very, I just woke up and maybe haven't spoken to another person in 3 days because I work from home. So that one's a tough one. Yeah. But as I told you before this, you don't want to hook up with someone that lives in your building anyway, because
you've done it?
I have. And if it seems like a good idea at the time, they still live there later. Like, when the whole thing blows up in your face, you both still keep seeing each other for months and months and months.
You got to figure out when their lease ends, and then that's when
He moved out.
Okay.
He moved out, and then I continued to run into him in public. And I was like, I'll move towns if I need to.
What drew you to him?
Lots of tequila and a compliment.
That's all it takes these days. What kind of guys approach you?
Usually the worst people I've ever met. Occasionally it'll be like people I actually want to talk to, because I like really funny people, or I like people that can like keep up with like if I'm like trying to do a bit or trying to do
you're witty, you're funny, like
if I'm trying to do banter with somebody,
wavelength.
I want them to be able to keep up and not be like, oh, what an odd thing that you just said. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I will say though, this did backfire, and me and some of my friends still joke about it, but it was like New Year's Day 2023. And there was just a few of us, and we just had a table at recess. Nobody was there. Like, everybody was either home hungover or they weren't back in town yet. And there were 2 guys that were at the bar, and my back was to them the whole time. But my friends could see them staring in our direction and like walking back and forth the whole time. Nobody said anything to me. I'm a person that startles very easily. So at some point, I saw them walk by, but they were walking toward the door. So I'm like, oh, those people left. Like, just I'm not like a Navy SEAL. Like, I'm not keeping track of where everybody is in the bar. So I was like, oh, they left. He comes up from my blind spot and very politely taps me on the shoulder and says, excuse me. I shriek. I shriek like I'm being killed. I shriek like nobody's ever heard. Everyone in the bar is looking. And he just like puts both hands up because he's just like, I didn't do anything. Like, this is just like a misunderstanding, like whatever. And I was just like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then he did ask me out. And then I politely declined and said I had a boyfriend, because for whatever reason, no isn't allowed, but I have a boyfriend is like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
What do you think if somebody comes up to you, right, and they're giving you compliments, you feel like you need to give a compliment back? This is how I work. But I've heard that's not the right way to do it. If you like have a girlfriend or something, they're like, why would you compliment them back? Like, it's very
it depends. Also, shout out to Terry. I'm sorry I screamed in your face. I think that was his name. I don't remember. All I know is my guy friend was like,
it was Dave.
He was like, well, I've been rejected before, but it's never gone that poorly. And then I just felt really guilty. I felt bad. But it's just because like I'm jumping, like, you know, like those stupid like pranks on TikTok. Like, I'm the prime person for that. But I feel like as far as flirting goes, or not even flirting, just complimenting.
Flirting, it's a compliment.
Compliment.
This was back in the day I got yelled at, or I was in a relationship.
So somebody actually put this in perspective for me, because there was like a cute guy. He looked like, actually, I told him this to his face. So this is one of those nights, fellas. I said, you look like Harry Styles if Harry Styles was from a small town in Ohio.
Well, first of all, that's the most backhanded compliment I've ever fucking heard. But
That's so creative.
But it was so true, because some other girl overheard me and went, oh, he does. So like,
was Henry Styles.
Exactly. A Harry Styles from Big Lots. I don't even know if you guys have Big Lots in Montana.
Lots? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we didn't. Yeah, we do have one in Montana.
Yeah.
Up in the Heights.
But I was talking to him, and we were just chit-chatting a little bit, and he was telling me how he was going to Austin at the time. There was a suspected active serial killer in Austin, so of course I warned him. He told me, don't worry, I could never be kidnapped. And then we'll get into that in a second.
It's a trigger for you, because now you're on your game, and you want to fuck with this guy.
No,
okay.
But it did set other people up in the future.
Okay.
Because I realize it's a very common thing that men are convinced that they are not able to be kidnapped for some reason. But I was talking to him, and there was like a little group of like little like 20, 21, 22, very, very fresh, youthful. They still have the light behind their eyes, you know? Yeah. That age group of girls, and like they were all talking to him. I was like, you know, all those girls are like super into you, because at some point he mentioned to me he had a girlfriend. Yeah. Because we were just chatting, and I was like, you know, like they're all into you. He was like, yeah, but I'm not into them. He was like, they're just being nice. No one's like crossed the line. He was like, you know, I like my girlfriend. Like, she trusts me to be here. And I was like, oh,
sounds kind of healthy.
That is so correct. You're so right. So I do think that it is not, I think only a jealous person would find issue with you being a normal, kind person and returning a compliment. Because it's not like you're going up to someone and being like, do that thing, be farting, or like, you're not saying like weird shit to somebody. You're just, someone's just like,
I
you're
kinda fucked
handsome.
up. This was back in the day. I was like, I kind of fucked up because she was like, oh, you're so hot. I want to fuck. This is at a wedding. Like, I want to, take
okay.
you. And
That's
then I was
different.
like, oh, you're very hot too.
Weddings are
like,
very horny.
Yeah. I was like, oh, she was hammered. I was like, oh, you're very good looking too. Like all this but all this. And then I just fucking ran away. And then I had a gal there at the wedding. This is like, years ago. And she was like, well, why'd you compliment? I was like, I don't know. Like, that was like the first thing my brain went to. Anyway, do you want to get into our next segment?
We can.
Let's do a segment brought to you by our sponsor. Roll the clip. Yeah, we're going to keep doing that joke, all right? We're going to keep doing the joke. Anyway.
Truth Social is the sponsor.
Until we get a fucking sponsor, we're gonna be done with that joke.
Please, someone.
I'll open a small business. I'll sponsor you guys. This podcast is my lifeline.
If you got $5, you can sponsor us.
Seasonal depression? Not this year. Not with this podcast.
Okay, this segment is called When Is It Appropriate?
Okay.
At what time in a relationship would these questions or actions be appropriate? All right. So I'm just going to name off a couple things. Just let me know what time or if it would even ever be appropriate. Okay. So when's it appropriate to ask how much money the other person has?
So if it comes up organically, you can kind of like...
Or makes a year.
Yeah, I would never ask someone that on a date or someone I didn't know, but I know, like, at least in my friend group, like, we all have a vague idea of what everyone's making just because, like, we're all kind of in a similar place in life. We talk about, like, oh, rent's so expensive, car payment, like, we all kind of have an idea. I think if you're planning on moving in together,
okay,
if you're planning on sharing living expenses to some capacity, that would be an appropriate conversation.
How much does somebody have to make for you
to get a date with ARAY?
I've gone out with brokies. Listen, the thing about me is that my mom's mantra that she taught me growing up was, it doesn't matter who you piss off as long as you pay your own bills. Mm-hmm. And that is so true. So I've never been the kind of person where I expect to be like wined and dined and pay for. I appreciate it. It's such a lovely gesture. But like, I don't think, as long as someone has a job and is supporting themselves and has, not even career-wise, but like has some sort of like other source of inspiration or ambition in their life, that's kind of it. I'm not really like a numbers gal.
Okay. Are you fine if they're living like paycheck to paycheck, or do they need to be investing for the long term?
Listen, I have friends that make six figures that are living paycheck to paycheck just because life's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have student loan. Like, it's all gonna shake out in the end. Everybody's gonna be okay. But I think as long as, like, I wouldn't be comfortable going out with someone that's like, oh, I was late on rent because I bought new skis, which is a Denver thing. That would happen here.
That is.
But as long as someone is like, I also don't like, being frugal to a point is admirable, but then, you have people that like, make money and like grew up with money and have never really had to worry about it. And they're like Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob, very penny pincher. Will just like nickel and dime people for no reason. That's kind of like a turnoff to me. But I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that's not something I'm into,
All right, let's go to the next one. When can you flatulate? Is it flatulate?
Flatulate.
Flatulate.
Yeah. Poop positive. I told you this.
Thank you. Okay, but like, when can you in a relationship?
So sometimes I have and they don't know.
Like or commonly known as ripping ass in front of somebody. Yeah. When can you do that? Like, do you do that? Do you save it? Do you never? I mean, like, what's a...
It depends on how much I like them and how much I care of what they think of me. Okay. I'm going to be honest, because if it's someone...
rip one in front of a guy?
I would. I probably would. I'd be farting. I like saved a post on Instagram. It's like, she's a 10, but she be farting. And like, I don't know. Similar to the guest you had a couple weeks ago. I also have Crohn's disease. I've never shit my pants on a date. That's rookie behavior. But
Fuck you, Sam.
but you know, there are things here and there that don't agree with me, but there are ways to discreetly do it if you're like, because I feel like everyone puts their best foot forward at the beginning. But like, I'd say once I know they like me, all bets are off.
I mean, like, I have a buddy and his girlfriend, and he just rips ass all the time, like right in front of her, like in the beginning, and it just seems to fly with her.
So that doesn't bother me personally.
Yeah.
It does bother some people. That doesn't bother me personally. If a guy did it in front of me, I wouldn't care. There's a double standard though.
Yeah.
So I would have to be careful. I have to be demure and girly.
But what about sending naughty pics? Like, how far into a relationship do you have to be to send?
So I've only done that with 2 people actually. I'm trying to keep track of my digital footprint. I know when it was taken. I know who it went to. If it comes back to me, I know who it was.
Okay.
One person I was into at the time, but it was also like Snapchat. There's no like hard copy to my knowledge. Another person was actually recently, and this isn't a person I probably will ever see again. But I was returning the favor, and I just like appreciated
What do you think about guys sending?
So normally, dick pics are the bane of my existence.
Okay.
Because there was a period in time where like it would be like 7 a.m. I'd be like out taking my dogs to poop or something, and I would open my phone, and you get like whatever 4.5 inches, the iPhone screen, whatever, just like unsolicited ween to the face.
Does this happen a lot for women?
Yeah.
Dick pics. I feel like I would never want to send a dick pic.
It does, because
just in general,
usually it's an in situ appreciation. Like unless I'm there too, I don't really care for that. This person in particular, though,
Kind of liked it.
I mean, you know, whatever.
You can say it.
Whatever, it was cool. I still have them. But because I planned on keeping them, I returned the favor. Okay. So, there is no, I don't think you have to be in a relationship to do that.
Really? I feel like I wouldn't send anything. If I wasn't in a relationship, I'm not sending.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know this guy's last name.
Okay. Awesome.
So, my face isn't in him.
Yeah. You ever send a dick pic, Isaac?
No, I have not.
Yeah, it's a thing. We had, it started in college. That's why, like, if I match with someone now on, like, a dating app, and they're like, do you have Snap? I'm like, Snapchat? What's that? Never heard of it. No, because all they want to do is to send me close-up pictures of their penis, and I don't want that.
I have a friend group of gals, and they will, if they get an unsolicited dick pic, they send it to each other in the group. Yeah.
I have a friend who has one, which honestly it's the funniest one I've ever seen, and it's been photoshopped as the Eiffel Tower, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, a wine bottle. It is like, it's a meme. Yeah. So like,
it's getting out there. Okay.
My friend did that in our boys group cchat. Just made it a sticker and turned it into.
Is it his dick?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's that's funnier. I feel like that's like because it's like less assaulty. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. If it was a guys group chat, that is pretty funny because you know guys are just like, ugh, no homo, like, ugh, I don't want to.
I feel like I've seen a lot of dicks. You used to shower with a lot of guys in high school. Like people are seeing dicks out there.
Oh, guys love their dicks, so it makes sense that somebody would send it to a guys group chat.
Yeah, made a lot of sense.
Put it over, act like it's a watch. Like, check out my new watch, you know? Yeah, well, scarf.
They got it all the way over their wrist.
Well, that's the go-to. Like, you put it over your wrist, you're like, check out my new watch, you know? That's just what the guy, maybe that's just us. I don't know.
No
Isaac
way.
would never shower
way
with
he's
us.
able to do that.
Okay,
No,
watch. If it doesn't go over my wrist, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Isaac would never shower with us.
Okay, these guys in high school, they would show up before our games to shower. It was a little disturbing.
It was a pregame shower. We thought it was good luck.
They would call me gay for not showering.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, isn't that
Guy
crazy?
didn't want to show his dick over here. I don't know what's going on. Hey, let's go to the next question. Asking them to change their appearance in any way. When do you get comfortable enough to do that?
So I'm at a point where I don't go out with someone if I feel like I need them to change who they are for me to like them.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would do that.
I feel like you can like a person, right? But maybe there's just like, I don't know how you say it nicely, but it's like, hey,
I will
maybe,
say.
maybe do this, maybe do that. Like, I really enjoy your appearance when you look like this.
One of my, like, I probably only have less than 5 icks, right? One of them.
What do you mean less than 5 dick?
Like, you know, like people
Icks.
are like have an ick
Icks?
list.
Oh,
Icks.
I thought you said
Less than 5. What's a penis? I've never seen one. Never seen one of those. What's that? I don't know.
less than 5 dicks. I was like, I thought you were like saying body count there. I was like,
I'll tell you my body count after this. You'll be surprised.
you've told me before.
It's gone up since I probably told you though. Yeah.
Probably, maybe.
I'll give you an update.
You're in the thousands now?
Millions. I'm not. No, there's like that like British OnlyFans girl who actually is like that. And I'm just like, the human body is not meant to do that. Anyway, icks. Flip-flops in inappropriate settings, i.e. not at the beach or the pool.
I don't even like flip-flops at the, like, are you talking about like something in the middle of the toe, like all that? I hate that.
Are you asking me to define what a flip-flop
Yeah,
is?
like a flip-flop. I hate that. Like, wear a Birk or something. I can't.
Listen.
I don't get
Are Birks okay? Just flip flops?
Birks are like
the open
weirdly
toe-
fine if it's summer and you're like, say you're at the park.
I don't go.
You're at the park,
full
you're running an
toes.
errand, whatever. But like, if I see your dogs out at the bar in the summer,
Yeah.
no. So if I was dating someone, I'd be like, you're gonna have to put on closed-toed shoes.
Ever-
Bowling rules. You need to put on closed-toed shoes if we're gonna go anywhere.
Trying to grease up the lanes. Hey, have you ever had a guy that had a foot fetish that was into you?
You know that I have, and
No, I did. I did hear this before.
so this is someone. He actually does still follow me on Instagram, so he might see this. I don't know. I matched with him on Hinge, and you know how normally it's like, "Hey, how's it going? How long have you been in Denver? Do you like, you know, just like generic, like whatever."
Show me them feet.
No, but out of the blue, we had just started talking, and he went, "Hey, quick question. What ethnicity are you?" Not the first time I've been asked that. Not that weird. It didn't fit. There wasn't a flow to the conversation, but I was like, whatever. That makes sense to ask that. So I told him. And then the follow-up question was, what size shoe do you wear?
That's a natural.
And then I kept getting more questions like, do you have flat feet? Or like, do you have an arch? Do you get pedicures? And then I
What
was
do you
fine.
think about a guy with a foot fetish, though?
I don't get it.
You don't get it?
Actually, scientifically, I do understand why that happens. There is a reason.
What is the reason?
So the part of your brain that like lights up whenever you're like sexually stimulated happens to be next door neighbors to the part of your brain that processes sensation to your feet.
Okay.
So it's just like two very close wires just happen to get crossed. But like, why is anyone into
Isaac
it?
loves.
I couldn't get far without him.
Women's 10.5 tootsies over here for you.
That'll do.
Oh, he also, shoe size. I
Take
told
him
him.
off.
You gotta paint this picture. Come on.
But we never
Those don't
ended
look like 10 and a half. What are we going to judge this?
measuring tape.
I'll have to taste it to see if it's a true 10 and a half.
Taste it.
That was a joke.
It tastes bigger than they look.
But we never actually ended up going out. But he was like, I was like, just so you know, I'm not going to have sex with you if we go out. I always say that.
You said that? I thought the guy said that. That's a go-to for a guy, by the way. I've heard.
Never heard that.
Really? Yeah. You just
Never
tell him-
seen that. Never experienced that.
Yeah, I don't.
And then he was like, that's fine. But maybe if the date goes well, like, you can let me give you a foot rub. And I was like, it's a little weird, but it's not going to disturb my pH. So, like, I will let you do that if the date goes well. Sure. I mean, like, I don't know. And then he wanted feet pics. And I didn't, because I know that there is a market for such things. And I know my value, and I will not give such a thing away for free. So he never got to see these women's 10.5 beauties over here, unfortunately. But that was like a crazy thing. And then I told him, turns out I knew someone that he knew that he went to high school with. And he was like, oh, that's crazy. don't tell them about the foot thing. And I was like, what do you mean don't tell them about the foot thing? I told the nurse and my dermatologist about the foot thing. I told my barista about the foot thing. I told all my friends about it. It was the weirdest fucking thing that's ever happened to me. Of course I'm going to tell everyone about it. But I went, oh, no, of course not. I didn't tell anybody about that.
And you just told all 30 of our viewers.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, you're just talking to yourself at this point.
Just me.
All right, next question is ask them to share their location indefinitely. Like, when is that appropriate?
Ooh. I do that with a lot of my friends. So it honestly just depends.
But a guy that you're in a relationship, when is that? I don't want them knowing what nefarious things I'm doing out there.
If we're exclusive, they shouldn't have an issue.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's healthy.
It's just like my Sims. Like, I like to make sure all my Sims get home at the end of the night. Like, it's just like a protective.
Yeah, okay.
It's like my protective thing. So, yeah, they shouldn't have a problem with it. If they do, then there's something suspicious happening.
Okay, asking how many sexual encounters they've had.
I don't care. It's always more than me. So, I don't care. I don't judge.
How much is too much?
As long as, like, they're not carrying anything around with them and giving it out to other people, I take my health very seriously. So as long as, like, that's not an issue, then whatever happened before me is none of my business.
You ever have an STD scare?
No.
Okay.
I haven't.
Isaac just has all of them, and they cancel each other out.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a,
Got a little bit of everything. So I'm going to die at some point, What's
Everybody's
the
gonna die.
worry?
I wasn't sick until I went to the doctor, and they told me I had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Eating your significant other's leftovers. Like, when is that okay? I mean, is that...
What does
First
that-
of all...
Is that a euphemism?
That's not, actually, it's not. When I started saying it did sound...
What the fuck does that
sexual.
mean?
I think
Like,
what
can
he
you eat
means...
somebody, like, could you eat your girlfriend's leftover? That still sounds, leftovers. In the fridge. Like,
Okay,
you
yeah,
don't
let me
have to-
translate. He's saying, like, at what point can you just raid their fridge or their snacks?
Thank you.
Without asking, just...
Without asking? Never.
Is that...
If I had a long day and I came home and I was looking forward to eating one thing and somebody else ate it, there would be a homicide.
It's over.
Yeah.
At some
You think
point,
about it all
it's
day.
got to be...
If we're living together, sharing rent, and we share everything, there's some
I
wiggle
guess-
room.
Yeah, I guess it
But
should.
if you're not going to ask me, at least tell me. I don't want it to be a surprise if I go to get something and it's no
I
longer
ate my
there.
sister's DQ in the fridge one time, and she assaulted me. Like, she beat me on, like, as much as a sister could.
Which sister?
That doesn't matter. Okay.
I heard your sisters are pretty hot.
Okay. Well, let's go to the next question.
You
when
heard
can
right.
you go number one in front of them? Can you pace?
With the door open?
Yeah, door open pace.
If we are physically intimate, then at that point, yeah, because
This
like
is
you have to go,
sound.
you have to pee, go. If they're scared by the sound of pee,
No,
they
no,
gotta
it's
go.
a sound as in, like, it's fine. Sorry.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant like the noise,
No,
the
no,
noise pee makes. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I feel like if that's going on, then it's fair game.
Okay.
Because my toilet is very close to my bed.
Okay.
They're in separate rooms, but proximity. Just so you know, I don't live in like a warehouse.
Okay, hey, we're done with the segment. That was a fun segment. We had a good segment. I dropped the pen again. But so we're gonna go on to the next question. If a guy could hit on you or pick you up outside of any other place than a bar, what would it be?
Anywhere.
Just anywhere in general?
Yeah, I love flattery. Who doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel like as long as it's like not scary.
Yeah. Anywhere you wouldn't want to be picked up at.
The doctor.
Okay, like a funeral too, maybe.
My friends aren't dying yet, so I don't go to a lot of those.
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, the doctor or no, that's about it.
Have you ever been guilty of being a man-hater?
So if you ask some of the men I know, they'll say yes.
Okay.
I think no.
You have any man-hating tendencies?
Yeah. I do, but I'm not a man hater.
Listen, this is the safe space to be a man-hater. Do you have any Anything you want to say?
I'm not a man hater. As I said, am attracted to them.
Yeah.
I like to date them.
But sometimes they fuck up. Sometimes they're pieces.
But there are patterns of behavior that I've encountered for a long time.
Tell us.
That I'm just like a little tired of.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Why don't you let it fly?
Like what?
We don't have time. That's a different podcast.
We got time. How long we got?
I actually don't think we have time.
We're at 48 minutes, like 45.
We've got enough time.
I just like men are bad communicators because they've never. Okay, so I'm not going to get too deep. I'm not going to go on too much of a tangent. But you keep hearing about like this male loneliness epidemic. What that is a result of them setting up a system for themselves for thousands of years where they don't have to try or be good at anything and they will still reap the benefits. We are just now hitting a point where you do have to be good at something and actually try, and it's not working out. And their response is just to take it out on like other people, and I don't love that. I don't hang out with people like that, though, to be fair. So that's a generalization. I don't want anyone to get mad. Like, I would not group either of you in that like category. But I'm just talking about the gross stuff men will say online, like when they're hiding behind like a comment or like making TikToks or whatever. The guys you're dating are like, they have like this revolving door of choice, and they don't know how to appreciate something for what it is and communicate where they're at emotionally, because they think that they need to like love bomb you to get you to stick around.
I keep hearing the love bomb.
Love bomb?
I don't get like they're all about it until they feel
it's
like
called,
they've reached a point.
An influencer I like and I listen to her podcast calls it the flip, and I've actually experienced that where someone seems very into you and then one day like the light flip switches and they just either ghost you or like, no, I don't want to talk to you anymore, or like whatever. Like, it's a very black and white 0 to 100 thing, where instead of just like having an honest conversation where it's like, oh, actually, I'm still dealing with this and I don't want to rush into anything. Does that align with what you want? Yes or no? Instead, they think either they shouldn't talk to you at all or they need to lie to you to keep you around because they don't want to like lose the attention. So I would say I'm not a man hater. They could communicate better. Okay. And they could be a little more empathetic, okay. I think.
How can women be better?
Ooh. Women are perfect. End of story. No, I'm kidding. I think because of the things that girls have been through with other guys, it kind of, you got your roster culture. Like, because they're like, guys have had rosters.
Because of guys, though.
Well, yeah, because
so
it's
women
like...
don't have any faults. It's because of...
All I can speak from is my experience and my female friends, and they're all perfect.
Yeah.
I will hear things from time to time from like my guy friends though, of like behavior from a woman, and I'm like, I don't claim her.
See, yeah.
But like I said, I support women's rights and women's wrongs. But I am. It's a girl's girl. Okay. I'm just like, I'm sure she had a great reason to do whatever she did.
What did he do to provoke that?
I don't know the whole story, whatever. No, I don't think anyone is perfect. And I don't think, just the way I would not want a guy to generalize me and be like, all women do this or girls do this or whatever do this, because like, then like the claws come out, my pupils just like retracted to slits. Like that's when I turned into like gremlin mode. The way that like people do that, I'm not trying to do that to anyone else either. So when I do go out with someone or I meet someone, like you're not going to get rid of those biases, I guess, or experiences that you've had, because this is all from experience, like things that people have done to me. I'm not going to carry that with me and apply it to someone that doesn't deserve it. I'm aware of it, but I actually think I give people too many chances, or like I'm a little too understanding when I go out with people, because there are things that'll happen and that normally people will be like, okay, well, this is done. We're never going to speak again. I'm like, maybe they had an off day. maybe they had an off day. Maybe like maybe they're nervous, like maybe whatever. So I'm actually like...
They are who you thought they were.
Yeah. So I feel like I will talk a big game to like stand up for other people. But when it comes to me, usually the walk of shame isn't home in the morning. It's me going to whatever date I'm going on with whatever clown I'm going to hang out with. Because I'm just like, he deserves another chance. So, you know, like there's shades of gray to everything.
Yeah, okay. You think they got like a clown school here that all guys just go to? And it's,
They graduate clown school and then move here.
And then they move here.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's Wakanda for white people and the Mecca. It's Clown City.
It's Clown City.
Just what we got going on, yeah.
I was a valedictorian at clown school, actually.
First in his class.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you went to a different school.
What is it? Cum laude? What is it?
Magnus Summa.
He graduated cum laude.
Like that. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway,
I would like to say though, before we move on, that nothing I say about men ever applies to Isaac, and he's perfect.
Yeah, Isaac is perfect.
Thank you.
Everybody loves him, and he does nothing.
I try hard to be perfect.
He's a sweet,
It's not easy.
young man. What's the worst date you've ever?
Like I said earlier, we'll call him Jeff because that is his name.
You hear that, Jeff?
Jeffrey.
Jeff. I won't give a last name. Okay. But to my knowledge, he might have social media. I'm not on it. He's not on mine. We are not on Beyonce's internet together. Okay. So I don't think he'll ever see this. Also, actually, I don't think he would see anything wrong with his behavior, even if he
did it, you know.
So part of this is on me a little bit. We go on a really weird first date where we meet somewhere to get drinks, and he's like, I'm hungry, I need to get in my protein. So he just orders a side of black beans and just eats black beans during our date. Okay. And then asks me if I do mushrooms, and ask me normal Colorado questions. So then also keep in mind, I've lived here for maybe 6 weeks at this point.
Okay.
I've learned there are warning signs, but not to me at the time. Second date was that weekend. This was a Wednesday. This is then fast forward to a Saturday. He's like, do you want to hang out again? He was like, yeah, I was already going to go on this hike at Silver Dollar Lake. You can come if you want. Red flag. But I was like, yeah, I'll go. And then he tells me the day before, he was like, there might be snow on the trail. So if you have micro spikes, bring them. I was like, okay. I've lived places with ice, whatever. If you stepped off the trail, it was waist deep snow. It was not a pleasant hike. And then I had just moved here and it was in the mountains. It was a high altitude. But the way up there, I just heard my accent when I said that also. And I feel I'm going to cringe so hard when I listen to this back because the Tennessee comes out sometimes. Anyway, the way up there, he was just listening to a growth mindset. It wasn't Joe Rogan. It was something worse somehow. But just you don't actually hate your job. You're just not thinking about it the right way. Kind of podcasts. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I figured we shouldn't talk. He's like, I figured we shouldn't talk on the drive. This is an hour drive. He was like, because I feel you should just see what I'm normally and what I normally do. Basically he was just you can observe me in my natural habitat. So I sit quietly and listened to this podcast with him the whole drive up. And then he asked me my thoughts. And then I told him, and he was like, that's wrong. And I was like, okay, that was very cool. We have this awful hike. We get to the end. The lake is frozen over and there were people ice fishing. I sit down to eat a frozen ass Cliff Bar and try to because I'm suffocating. Because I went from mountains, but much smaller mountains. Mm-hmm. And then I moved here and it's that's a lot. And he's out frolicking on the ice and finds an ice fishing hole and then abruptly gets on all fours and dunks his head into the ice fishing hole, wets all of his hair, and then shakes it off, and then comes over and is trying to kiss me and has a snotty face, and he's cold and wet.
Wait, he kissed you after the...
Anyway, he's cold and wet, and I'm just yeah, whatever. And we walk back, and on the way home, I find out he is super into the jam band Fish. And I was like, oh, I've never really listened to their music. Spoiler alert, it's the Wiggles for middle-aged white men. It's fucking terrible. And I was trying to be nice, because he was like, I need to drive, but since we don't have reception, can you go through every single Sirius channel And when I tell you I like one, can you like program it to my thing so I can just like whatever? So he made me flip through like 200 radio channels. And we get to the Fish channel and he just like activates and he starts telling me the history of the band and telling me about a song and all the performances he's been to and the backstory. And I was just like, oh, cool. This isn't really my thing. Like, whatever. We stop to eat. He sits on the same side of the table as me, even though I go, why are you doing that? Like, hey, buddy, like, do you want to like, you know, he's like, no, I'm fine. I pay.
You paid?
I pay for both of us. And
Did
then
he offer?
No, I don't think so. And then the rest of the way back continues to tell me about a band that I told him I didn't like. And then
Imagine having like no self or like social awareness or self-awareness. So
it gets worse, and I'll tell you about it another time, but we'll just say to be continued. I would say that was the last official date we went on. I did continue to see this man for 4 to 6 weeks after.
Oh, no. Okay.
That one's on me.
That one's on you. That one's on you, lady.
That was on me. He would also leave skid marks in my toilet every single time he came over.
Jeff.
Yeah. He had a bad diet.
Jeff, short for Jefferson, which is also like
Jefferson.
That doesn't sit right with me.
So who's your, like, what's your type of guy, though? Like, for anybody listening and our 30 listeners, which is you, if anybody finds this,
so I think the guys that I gravitate toward if I want to hook up with them versus the guys that I want to date are different.
Okay.
Because if I'm
You
looking...
want to hook up with a guy. What kind of guy is this?
The worst guy you've ever met. I told you guys before this, I don't hook up with people I respect, which I am working on. I go to therapy. So we're not doing that anymore.
Okay.
Of
today.
Yes,
we're starting fresh in the new year.
Okay.
We're starting
So, guys,
Starting in 2 weeks.
We're starting fresh in the new year. It's weird because the people I end up like really like emotionally liking don't look anything like what I would describe.
Okay.
So like I'm an unreliable narrator, and even I have some friends that are like, I've known you for years, and I like can't figure out what your type is, because it's always like it's a little all over the place. But just like if I'm gonna be as generic as possible, like handsome, nice, funny.
You met Isaac?
Everyone's in love with Isaac, so like I don't know if I like have the energy for that kind of competition, but like
Get in line.
Yeah, when you're ready to get
Very
married,
competitive
baby.
over here,
yeah. Honestly, Isaac is pretty perfect. Look at him.
Oh,
Look at him.
It's the hat.
Why are you
It's the hat. Yeah, so I'm not like super picky on height. They just have to be taller than me, which is a low bar. I'm like 5'8"-ish.
Okay.
So like I'll go 5'10". 5'10" or taller. That's very achievable.
You're out, bud.
And then Isaac's taller.
We've been over this.
Okay, yeah.
Isaac's taller than me.
Yeah, he's 5.
Yeah.
Barefoot.
And yeah, just like not an asshole.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
The bar is set low.
Yeah.
Which you think that people would be able to check the boxes in that case, but you would be shocked at, because like I feel like you meet a guy, specifically if it's on a dating app, and the first thing they do is say the most shocking, disgusting thing they've ever said to anybody.
What's like the most shocking?
Just like gross, really like forward sexual stuff that I'm just like, ew. And then I say something like
I'll just note that. Quit doing that shit.
just stop doing that real quick. Yeah, like I'm not like opposed to showing interest if we've met in person and we get along and like, there's a mutual vibe. But I'm just a stranger on the internet and you're telling me this nasty shit. I'm gonna screenshot that and send it to your mom. Tell me your last name. I'm gonna find your mom.
One of those.
Why are you talking to people like that? It's so inappropriate.
Yeah.
Then again, I did get a TikTok comment flagged for violating community guidelines this week. It wasn't even inappropriate. I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. I used the word butt in it. BUTT.
Okay.
That violates community guidelines apparently. So
Ew.
But it was on somebody in Australia I have a crush on TikTok, so that's on me.
There's nothing in this glass. Anyway, so let's get to the last question here. We
All
wrap
right.
it up every time. Why are you a catch, ARAY?
Ooh, gosh, guys, I don't know. I am smart, so we can talk about like a lot of things.
Intelligent.
Yeah, I'm smart. I like to think I'm funny. I get a lot of feedback that I'm funny. Sometimes I giggle at myself. I live alone. I don't know. I'm like the Grinch with his dog. It's me and my dog. It's like a very similar setup to the Grinch and Max, since this is the Christmas episode. I am I'm good at communicating, and I'm usually pretty understanding. Like if I get a genuine apology for something, I'll give you one more chance.
Okay.
I won't forget
If
about
you
that.
get 2 genuine apologies.
No, because I will forgive, but I will not forget. That's a thing. If people are into astrology, so if you have any girl listeners, I'm a Virgo, so.
We're Virgos.
As are we,
fuck
yeah.
around. Both of you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I usually butt heads with Virgo men, but like I like you guys.
You've butted heads with us before.
No, I flat out attacked you. You were very kind about it. And I'm pretty much down for anything. Okay. Like I'll do something even if it's like not my thing. If someone puts in the effort to plan it, like it's like, oh, I planned this thing because I like it and I hope you like it and I want to do this together. I'll do it. I'm not very high maintenance. I should probably be more picky and more high maintenance. That would probably behoove me.
What a word.
Yeah, I know. What did I say? Pious.
Pious, yeah.
Pious earlier. But yeah, I think I'm a good time.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think I'm pretty. My mom thinks I'm pretty. Whatever. If you don't think I'm pretty.
My mom thinks I'm pretty, too.
Yes.
Your mom thinks I'm pretty as well.
No,
I think you're pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah, so look at us. Look at this circle jerk over here.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
So yeah, that's why I'm a catch.
Okay.
I also will never expect anything from someone that I don't also offer in return.
Okay.
And I think that's the perfect punctuation on.
That is very mature.
Boom.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't do that.
A lot of people don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What a great episode.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
This
of
is
course.
great.
Joining us
Merry
on
Christmas!
Table for One. Merry Christmas. Like and subscribe. It'll help us out.
Yeah.
And
Pucker up Whoville. I hope that's not copyright to
No.
Universal Pictures.
yeah, we're
I don't think so.
Anyway, Merry Christmas, folks. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.